Herod the Great, a name synonymous with power, cruelty, and magnificent building projects. His legacy is a complex tapestry woven with threads of architectural brilliance and ruthless ambition. But how did this controversial figure rise to become the king of Judea? What were the pivotal moments that shaped his ascent to power? The answer lies in the fiery crucible of Roman politics, a turbulent arena where alliances were forged and broken with alarming frequency. Born into a wealthy Idumean family, Herod was a shrewd operator from a young age. His family's affluence provided him with opportunities that he seized with both hands. He understood that true power in Judea meant securing the backing of the Roman Empire. Without Rome's support, any claim to the throne would be tenuous at best. Herod strategically allied himself with Mark Antony, one of the most powerful Roman generals. This alliance was not just a political maneuver, but a calculated risk that paid off handsomely. He impressed Antony with his political acumen and military prowess, proving himself to be a valuable ally in the volatile landscape of Roman politics. When civil war gripped Rome, Herod backed Antony against Octavian. This decision was fraught with danger, as the outcome of the war was far from certain. However, Antony's defeat at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC threatened to spell disaster for Herod. His fortunes seemed to hang by a thread. Showing his characteristic pragmatism, Herod switched sides and pledged his loyalty to Octavian, the soon-to-be Emperor Augustus. This move was a masterstroke of political survival. Augustus, recognizing Herod's usefulness as a client king, officially appointed him King of Judea in 37 BC. This appointment was a testament to Herod's ability to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics. It was a remarkable turnaround for Herod. From the brink of ruin, he had managed to secure his position and gain the favor of the most powerful man in the Roman world. He had gone from being a potential enemy of Rome to its trusted ally, securing his position through a mix of cunning and ruthlessness. His ability to adapt and survive was unparalleled. This set the stage for a reign marked by both impressive achievements and brutal repression. Herod's architectural projects, including the expansion of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, were monumental. The man who would become known as Herod the Great was now firmly in control of Judea, his destiny intertwined with that of the burgeoning Roman Empire. His reign would leave an indelible mark on the history of the region, a legacy of both grandeur and tyranny. Herod's rise to power was impressive, but it came at a terrible cost. His journey to the throne was marked by a series of calculated moves and alliances, each step more ruthless than the last. He was a man driven by an insatiable hunger for power, and he would stop at nothing to secure his position. To secure his position, he transformed into a ruthless tyrant, eliminating any perceived threats with chilling efficiency. His methods were brutal and unrelenting, ensuring that no one could challenge his authority. The court was filled with whispers of fear and betrayal as Herod's paranoia grew with each passing day. His paranoia knew no bounds, and even his own family members were not spared from his wrath. The very people who should have been his closest allies became his most feared enemies. His actions were driven by a deep-seated fear of losing his grip on power, leading to a reign of terror that left no one safe. One of his earliest victims was Aristobulus III, the last Hasmonean high priest. Aristobulus was young and charismatic, and his popularity posed a significant threat to Herod's rule. Herod saw him as a rival who needed to be eliminated to secure his own position. Herod, fearing his popularity, orchestrated his drowning under the guise of a friendly swimming accident. This cold-blooded act was a clear indication of the lengths Herod would go to maintain his power. The court was left in shock, but no one dared to speak out against the king. Tragically, this marked the beginning of a pattern of violence that would define Herod's reign. His rule was characterized by a series of brutal acts, each more horrifying than the last. The kingdom was plunged into a state of constant fear, as Herod's enemies were systematically eliminated. He had his wife, the Hasmonean princess Mariam, executed, believing she had betrayed him. Mariam's tragic fate was a testament to Herod's increasing paranoia and his willingness to sacrifice even those he loved. Her death sent shockwaves through the kingdom, further solidifying Herod's reputation as a tyrant. This act haunted him for the rest of his life. Despite his ruthless nature, Herod was not immune to the pangs of guilt and remorse. The memory of Mariam's execution lingered in his mind, a constant reminder of the price he had paid for his ambition. The bloodshed continued as Herod eliminated anyone who dared to question his authority. His reign was marked by a relentless pursuit of power with no room for dissent. Those who opposed him were swiftly dealt with, their fate serving as a grim warning to others. He executed his own sons, Alexander and Aristobulus, on suspicion of plotting against him. This act of patricide was perhaps the most shocking of all, revealing the depths of Herod's paranoia. His sons' deaths were a stark reminder of the lengths he would go to protect his throne. His reign of terror sent a clear message. Opposition, real or imagined, would be met with swift and brutal punishment. Herod's rule was a dark chapter in the history of Judea, marked by fear, violence, and bloodshed. His legacy was one of tyranny and oppression, a stark contrast to the grandeur he sought to achieve. In his quest for absolute power, Herod had become a monster, sacrificing even those closest to him on the altar of his ambition. His actions were driven by a relentless desire to maintain control, no matter the cost. The kingdom he ruled was a reflection of his own inner turmoil, a place where fear reigned supreme. The kingdom he ruled was built on a foundation of fear, the consequences of his bloody ascent to power echoing throughout Judea. The people lived in constant fear of their king, knowing that any sign of dissent could lead to their downfall. Herod's legacy was one of blood and terror, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. While history remembers Herod for his brutality, he was also a prolific builder, transforming the landscape of Judea with his ambitious architectural projects. His legacy is etched in stone, a testament to his vision and determination. His reign saw the construction of magnificent palaces, fortresses, and cities, showcasing the grandeur and wealth of his kingdom. These structures were not just buildings, they were symbols of power, control, and the sophisticated culture that flourished under his rule. One of his most impressive feats was the expansion of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, a project of immense religious and political significance. This expansion was not merely an architectural endeavor, but a statement of Herod's commitment to his faith and his people. The Temple Mount was enlarged, and the sanctuary rebuilt with exquisite detail. The craftsmanship and artistry involved were unparalleled, reflecting the importance of the temple in Jewish life and Herod's desire to leave a lasting legacy. Herod's architectural prowess wasn't limited to Jerusalem. His vision extended to the coast, where he constructed the impressive port city of Caesarea Maritima. Caesarea Maritima was complete with a harbor, amphitheater, and aqueducts, a testament to Roman engineering. This city was a marvel of its time, blending Roman and local architectural styles to create a bustling hub of commerce and culture. He also built magnificent palaces for himself, such as the Herodium, a testament to his wealth and ego. These palaces were not just residences, but fortresses designed to protect and impress. The Herodium, a combination of palace and fortress, was built on a man-made mountain, a testament to Herod's ambition. This structure dominated the landscape, a constant reminder of Herod's power and ingenuity. His building projects served multiple purposes. They provided employment, enhanced his prestige, and solidified his image as a powerful and pious ruler. The construction of these grand structures required a vast workforce, which in turn stimulated the economy and reinforced Herod's control over his subjects. However, these structures cast a long shadow, a constant reminder of the fear and oppression that fueled their construction. The grandeur of Herod's buildings could not mask the harsh realities of his reign. Herod may have built grand monuments, but they could not erase the stain of his tyranny. His legacy is a complex one, marked by both remarkable achievements and ruthless oppression. The stones of his kingdom tell a story of ambition and cruelty, of a ruler who sought to immortalize himself through his constructions, yet could not escape the shadow of his own actions. Section 4, The Cry of Innocence, a Stain on History. No event casts a darker shadow on Herod's reign than the infamous Massacre of the Innocents, a chilling tale recounted in the Gospel of Matthew. According to the biblical account, Herod, obsessed with maintaining his power, felt threatened by the prophecy of a newborn king of the Jews. In a paranoid frenzy, he ordered the execution of all male infants under the age of 2 in Bethlehem, hoping to eliminate this potential rival. The image of innocent children slain at the whim of a tyrant is deeply disturbing, shaking even the most hardened historian. Whether the massacre happened precisely as described in the Bible is debated by scholars. However, the story highlights Herod's ruthlessness and his willingness to commit unspeakable acts to preserve his power. The massacre of the innocents serves as a chilling reminder of the human cost of unchecked ambition and the horrors inflicted by those who rule through fear. It is a stain on Herod's legacy, a symbol of the darkness that often accompanies absolute power. The cries of the innocent victims continue to echo through history, a stark condemnation of Herod's reign. Section 5. Legacy of a Tyrant, Fear and Grandeur. Herod the Great died in 4 BC, leaving behind a legacy as complex and contradictory as the man himself. He was undeniably a brilliant politician and a visionary builder, transforming Judea with his ambitious projects. However, his reign was also defined by unparalleled cruelty and paranoia, his quest for power leaving a trail of blood and suffering in its wake. His subjects lived in fear of his wrath, and his family became victims of his suspicion. The massacre of the innocents, whether a literal event or a symbolic representation of his brutality, forever tarnished his name. Herod's legacy is a cautionary tale about the corrupting nature of power. He showed that even the most remarkable achievements can be overshadowed by cruelty and tyranny. He left behind a kingdom marked by both architectural splendor and the lingering fear of his reign. Herod the Great remains a figure of fascination and revulsion, a reminder that history is often written in shades of grey, with even the most powerful figures capable of both great and terrible deeds.